is recording the panel. Please feel free to start it now. I can't because I'm on my laptop. So, hope someone's got it. Thank you, Nova. All right. Welcome, everyone, to the Fictionfolk Roundup. This is a semi-impromptu, extremely chaotic, let's talk about ourselves, ask questions, and such. The structure of the roundup is simple. I have a list of questions about sources and such as whose source is the oldest, and other questions of that type. I will ask one periodically. And we can answer, we can talk. I have some more to ask. The audience can suggest questions once we run low on conversation for one, or once it's time to move on. Last roundup, there were some live, badly drawn MS Paint badges created by the audience as quote-unquote awards for people quote-unquote winning a category. If anyone in the audience wishes to draw them, by all means feel free. You do not have to. People can draw duplicate badges. You don't have to do anything. It's just fun, and I thought I would mention it because it happened last time. Alright, it looks like everyone is excited to draw terrible badges, and if someone wants to collect them all at the end, that'd be fantastic. That being said, let's get started with the Fictionfolk Roundup with... let me see. Okay. Who here thinks they have known that they are fiction folk the longest? Does system stuff count? If your system stuff involves fiction folk, i.e. if you've had fictives for a long time. Okay, someone said 5-ish years. Only 11 years. Only 11. Oh, since we were 3. Okay. I don't know how old you are, and I don't want to ask, but 25 now. 22 years. Can anyone beat 22 years in the Baphomet Society? We've only known that we're fiction folk for the last 4 years or so. So only 11? No, Ronnie raises a good point. How did you know? That, like... Because we've known we were plural basically our whole lives, but not fiction folk. Oh. That's very cool. Alright, well, I think we have a winner. Oh, I'm realizing I realized I just completely forgot to introduce myself. I was so excited to get into the roundup. Real quick. While everyone laughs at the badge. I'm Medivh. I'm from World of Warcraft. Famous, infamous, etc. I don't have my voice. I have a different voice box. I'm not going to try to do my voice. I can't hit it. So, you're all just going to have to live with what I sound like. If anyone wants to know how to spell Medivh, good luck. And people who see Medivh written never know how to pronounce it. Oh, I see Sylvanas. Hello, Sylvanas. Whole conversation, the whole roundup goes in here. I can't keep track of both channels at once. There aren't really any significant questions in the roundup. Okay. Well, now that we have a winner of person who's known their fiction folk the longest, whose source is the most niche? As in, does anyone think they have no source mates or almost no source mates anywhere in the world other than really kind of making your source yourself? Because if you made it yourself, obviously. Roshan, I have to remove you from the pool because otherwise I have to remove quite a few of us from the pool because Blaine would be like, well, I'm from a novel that hasn't been released. And I'm like, I know. Whoa, chat's moving fast. Kin of a character on a show I worked on actively and is not out yet. I did not make it myself. I was reviewing the animation for errors. That's really interesting. Fiction flickered a lady who got murdered in a short story once. Ooh. For counting all Fallout people that I have more than one, but who the fuck is from Van Buren? Well, anti-OC Kin slander. I love you, OC Kin. But then you, of course, would have no source mates. It's not about that. You all get an honorary badge. How about that? I don't know how niche AU of AUs of music personas are. Very. Bandlore Fictomir, does that count? I think so. I think if there's a badge for this one, I think anyone who feels like it fits can claim it. There is no winner. There is only, I don't know what any of you are talking about, which is exciting. That's what you want, really. There you go, Hoomst. Starset Fictomir, that's interesting. I lose because I'm under NDA and I actively cannot talk about my source. Sorry about your NDA. Can we get a sorry about your NDA badge? Only fiction folk in the village. Oh no, the poor starboard. It's gonna be full of badges. Oh no. Well, that's exciting. Oh, you're right, starboard doesn't work in this chat. Starboard is saved. Thank you to Machina for forwarding all the badges into panel questions. I think that's a good place for it, and it's very confusing. It's really good. And to finish setting the tone, my next question is, whose source has the most slime in it? Who thinks they have the most slime? Slime. For example, I'm from Warcraft, in which there are multiple cities and locations that have entire moats full of green slime that seem to come from giant worms. So that's a lot of slime. Lots of people seem to have slimes as in living creatures. Slime from Minecraft, Slimesicle. A lot of glowing green goo, yep. If your blood is healthy, it should not be slimy, no. I don't want to be Slime King, so despite the fact that I'm a Warcraft person, I don't want to be considered. Sylvanas, why did you fill your city with slime if you didn't want to be the Slime King? Do gelatinous cubes count? Yes. Bold of you to assume I'm in control of anything that happens in my city. That's fair. Anduin says, I will take the crown of Slime King for the Warcraft fiction folk to save the rest of you. You might have to fight Meralda over it. She's Forsaken and loves the slime. Okay, someone with slime in their canon. New Vegas doesn't really have any slime in it. No, New Vegas is a very dry game. No dust, a lot of it, but no slime. Lots of dust. Well, congratulations on the dust. You were so slime that you made more people out of your slime. Well, now we've got slime cannibalism in the chat, which is fantastic. Oh, I love the Slime King badge. Why'd I do a blue heart? I'm green. And for slime, you should have a green heart. I can't unreact. The blue heart stays. Pokemon has like a minimal to moderate amount of slime. That's true. Where the badge is coming from. The badges are being made by the audience live. If you want to make them, you can do so. If you want to claim them because they seem to fit your source, by all means feel free. This is all for fun. I hate it here. The Dark Rangers are insisting I'm Slime King. Sorry about your Dark Ranger slime unionizing. Slime Rancher. I was waiting for someone to mention Slime Rancher. Yeah, I asked a slime question. Goop absolutely counts. I asked a couple of serious questions and I thought, what if I asked a silly question? Congratulations on everyone made of goop. Alright, well I have more questions. Does anyone have a question suggestion for us to go with next? I will not take all suggestions, but you know, let's get silly with it. Ooh, source of the most extreme weather. That's a good question. Who's got some extreme weather? Rain World. Well, it sounds like a place where it rains, and it's a world where all it does is rain. So that's a pretty good contender. Silk Song, Silent Hill. Ooh. I'd say Welcome to Night Vale counts with the Glow Cloud. Does the Nether count as extreme weather? I think so. My canon timeline involved my body burning hot enough to change global weather patterns. Are you alright? Like, are you doing okay? No, not at all. Ooh, sorry to hear it. The Sierra Madre exists, so one of us lived there. Sorry to hear it. Now that's some weather. Harsher set in Death Valley, that's just normal extreme weather. Well, one world it just, like, rains. So does Antarctica count? I'd say so. This game is hard to play when you don't know anything about your source. Yeah, a little bit. Heavy rain. Everyone's very into rain. That seems to be the game name uh weather phenomenon. Yeah, can you spare some of the people in the Mojave some rain? That's a good one. All right. Well, partially based on what I think is a suggestion chat. Who's problematic? Our entire system. My time has come. Metawiser and Canon either. No, not Hitalia. Enclave. Oh no. The racism problem in Avatar's writing. Jasper from Steven Universe. Oof. The fandom. Oh, Darkstalker. Yep. Toxic Yuri. Flicker from the game that invented loot boxes. Ooh. Multiple folks in our system tried to become God, if that counts. Haven't we all? Genshin Impact and its refusal to acknowledge melanin. Oof. We've got the arsonist serial killer from the propaganda anime, the warlock that destroyed the world because he's fucking gay, and the mechanical vampire. Sorry to hear it. But also, cool. You know how it is with systems. I mean, I basically doomed my home planet because I was possessed by a demon from before I was born, so hashtag problematic, but not my fault. The Harry Potter gang. Tried to kill all your friends. I'll do it. Swift I want to say we missed the start of this panel. The instant we join, the first thing we hear is who's the most problematic. Well, we love our baby Voldemort. I love your baby Voldemort too. I ate my mother. I lasered my mother. We should shake hands. I was a demon who tortured my ex-lover and his fiancée across multiple centuries. I am now his fiancée's roommate. Wow. That's intense. I hope that's going well for you. I burned a tree and it was a poor choice. Yeah. Yeah. I would agree. We cancel you at dawn. Most of us did a bit of war. See, sorry, I'm getting on my soapbox for a minute here. This is why the idea of hunting down and being horrible to quote unquote problematic people is ridiculous, because first of all, look how many of us there are. Second of all, we're just vibing. I mean, it's like, yeah, okay, we're problematic for one reason or another. Maybe we did something. Maybe our source is controversial, whatever. We did those things for a reason, probably. A lot of things happened. Problematic is such a vague and kind of useless term most of the time anyway. You know, we're here. We're having a good time. That's what matters. I don't think I did anything wrong. Fantastic. We tend to split problematic women. I mean, don't we all? Darkstalker, I don't even need to open your spoiler. I know exactly what happened. That's a tough one. D&D, do you want me to start the shitty creators of the racism? Oof. 200 years ago, my people were cops. Oof. I love everyone witnessing what problematic things other people have done and going, that's rough. That's also cool. I'm a banned kin type from multiple Discord servers. Wow, I'm sorry to hear that. I think those Discord servers should probably get over it. Oh, Gavin might win. Was a cop. Sorry, Gavin. No one is the pinnacle of goodness, even if they claim to be. If doing one bad thing makes you a bad person, as many people in our lives have believed, then there are no good people in this world. Absolutely. No one's perfect, and no one's completely evil. You know, everyone sit down with a glass of water. Let's have some fun. Yeah, unfortunately, the plural kit proxying does make the chat jump a little bit. Nothing to be done about it. All right, I'm gonna hop to another question. Calixa suggested something a few minutes ago. Most nebulous connection to fiction, i.e., you know, every possible source, no specific kin type, etc. Who just kind of has a who's fiction folk, but it's really hard to explain and it's very, very nebulous. Don't really fit this, to be honest. No, we don't either. We're basically all fictives. We're all very clear cut. Roshan, I'm just saying you should join the Purple Parlor about it. It's like, ooh, I feel the way about the Halifal Arathi. Come in. Come in. Make it a fiction folk thing. Our biggest type is actually fictional in a generic sense, like our ID is a fictional character. That is so interesting, actually. Do you have anywhere you've written about that? I'd love to see that. Like, hear more about that. Not yet, we've been planning to. Well, I'd love to see it. My sense of self is inherently extremely fictional, but I'm not fiction kin of anyone. See, there are so many very interesting fiction folk experiences that I don't know anything about. Like, that's so interesting to me. Does being a fictive who's not even actually in Source count? We have multiple people who are plural in Source as their headmates don't exist in Source. I'm one of those folks. Wow. That's really interesting. I'd never thought about that before. Now that's an interesting connection to have to fiction. What I love most, I think, about running the Fictionfolk Roundup is I get to learn so many things about so many interesting people. All right, let me see. Recommendation: source with the most amount of dragons. Yeah, sure. Let's talk about dragons. This question feels a little rigged. Clear sight, I have to say. Wings of Fire is quite a few dragons. I will say I have to throw my hat in the ring. Warcraft has lots and lots and lots of dragons. How to Train Your Dragon. Dragon Age has very few dragons. It's very much like this game is named after dragons. I didn't know there were dragons in it until like this most recent year and the most recent game release, and I saw gifs of a dragon. I went, wait, Dragon Age has dragons in it? Dungeons and Dragons will concede to Wings of Fire's dragon xenofic. Yeah, that's fair. The little dragon on the badge. That's really good. We have a dragon that originated from our dreams. Really? Warcraft may not win, but it's definitely up there. Absolutely, Rathian. There's a lot of dragons in Warcraft. It's not about dragons, but there's an awful lot of them. Everyone in our system can turn into a dragon if they want to. Well, our system collectively identifies as a dragon, so, you know, systems and dragons can get very interesting. Ooh, that's a good one. I love that badge. D&D. Well, it does have dragons in the name. My whole house is dragon riders, and the country I come from is full of dragons. That'll help. Some as big as mountains. Those are some big dragons. All right. On the flip side from the kind of niche no source mates question, my next question is who knows the most source mates? Who feels like they know a whole lot of source mates? For good or for ill? Not just who has the most, which just absolutely insists counts. Collectively Marvel. Ooh. Steven Universe. Absolutely, there's a lot of Steven Universe out there. Hermitcraft, Dream SMP folk. Yep. Homestuck. I mean, we have a Homestuck guy even. 100 plus fictives of the same two guys. That's really interesting. Warcraft, yeah. There's actually surprisingly few Warcraft fiction folk that I've met, which segue, if anyone in chat is Warcraft fiction folk of any description, no matter how vague that connection is, I do run, well, Khadgar runs, a Warcraft fiction folk server called the Purple Parlor. It was the very first post in announcements, I believe. You can go join if you are a source mate of mine in any way. If you are Warcraft fiction folk at all, go take a peek. If you can't find it, shoot us a PM. Whatever. We'd love to see you there. See if we can retroactively win this most source mates thing. Well, the Warcraft community exploded in 2020, which may have involved myself and my wife being bullied, but whatever. Sorry about you and your wife being bullied. 2020 was indeed a very rough year for Warcraft for a lot of reasons. Sorry about all that happened to you, Sylvanas. That wasn't fun to watch. I'd love to find source mates again. Join the server. No one's allowed to be mean. We have a good time. Linking Warcraft to hang out with you more. Do it. We're also autistic about it. We can talk about it for ages. We can help you find something to link. That's when I checked out of source. Very fair, Sylvanas. Good time to leave. Who needs it? 38 of you in the server you're in, but that's just actual doubles. Definitely over 100 in terms of source mates. Wow. 38 doubles. I was finally like, you know what? I love myself too much for this. Absolutely. Sylvanas, I think you'd actually have some interesting conversations with Khadgar and his feelings on some of what's happened recently in the War Within and how he kind of had to take a step back and intentionally rewrite his history away from canon because he likes himself too much for all this. In my head, WoW ended after Legion. Yeah, kinda. Okay, new question. Question idea. Who is the most hashtag normal? Who is just some guy? Which fiction folk are just some guy? Gavin 100% wins this one. He might. Gavin, you are so normal, and I mean this in the nicest and, like, most friendly way possible. You are literally just some guy. Like, you could find you on the street. You're just any guy. We could find you on the ground. It's great. I don't know if I count as normal. I did stuff, though. Find me on the floor. I was going to say we have just some guy, but I forgot he turned into a bird. We have a guy who's a modern AU version of Taika who just worked for Nevada State Parks. That's pretty normal. Does it count if to my soul bonds I'm the normie of the group? Sure. There's something really special about being the most normal of your immediate group. Is it wild to say the most normal guy in our system is a god? Very much so. That is so interesting. Your system sounds so interesting. I helped get a bunch of alien artifacts to stop the universe from ending, but I was also just some random person. Normal's all relative. The bar is in heaven. I was just part of the military-industrial complex. Sorry about your military-industrial complex. Complex, I think it's quite simple. What horrible thing was it I said out of context last roundup? Like, oh, like the slave cult's good or something? Because we were talking about problematic people or sources. Yeah, I said, ooh, the slave cult's good, as in terms of most likely to win, most problematic, and then I paused and said, don't quote me out of context because it doesn't sound good. We were talking about it's you. You're why I said that. Ronnie has been making fun of me for that for a month. Nay, many months. All right, so let's see. Another question. Okay. This is again about your source, but not in a way where you really need to know a ton about it. Most installments in your source, most episodes, volumes, games, books, etc. Pokemon, Warriors, those are good. Treehouse, Ace, come on. I know what you're gonna say. Yep, One Piece. Can anyone beat One Piece? Yu-Gi-Oh, Mario. Just I love when like, oh me, oh no, wait, One Piece, Star Trek and Star Wars, Marvel, Sonic. Marvel's a big one. Marvel's hard to beat if you kind of have Marvel in general. But also, it's like, I mean, how do you count each like comic book? Like, is it per book? Is it Pokemon, the trading card game? It's hard without setting down very specific boundaries to crown a specific winner. But I think that there are some clear uh there's so many. Mythology interjects from so long ago there wasn't written language. There's so every instance of the myth was different. Well, now that's a good point. Because while that's not exactly installments, it is different versions out there, although many have been lost. That's interesting. That's an interesting point. Over 1,000 episodes of Pokemon. Why? I mean, that's terrifying. Like, not like, oh, why does Pokemon get that many? Why does anything have that many? 35,000? The audience badges are so much better than anything I could have created. This is amazing. Thank you, audience. You're so wonderful. And thank you to Machina for sacrificing your ability to talk consistently to wrangle the badges. I really appreciate it. All right. Does anyone have another question to ask the group? Ooh, most canon divergent's good. Who's most canon divergent? We have some Warcraft fictives who are barely from Warcraft at all and are humans who linked with a dragon spirit to become dragons rather than being dragons themselves, one of which is Anduin, who's not a dragon at all, and one of which is Rathian, who was supposed to be born a dragon in canon. So that's pretty good. Roshan, you've got a good one. You are Vampire the Masquerade, the big AU. Had to rewrite my story. Khadgar did too. That's oof. Go with people that don't exist in canon. That's pretty good. Beta Pokemon. Version of myself from a Fic where I'm a Fae. X-Men who literally doesn't exist outside of my own parallel life. Not no C. Character who straight up does not appear in Marvel despite being a part of the new X-Men lineup. Wow. Rewrote the whole everything. Handshake with Max. It's complicated. From every timeline, there being multiple timelines is canon. Me knowing about them and not and traveling between them is a big no. Wow. Technically, I'm not from any canon. Canon stories are just mirrors. I guess canon is pretty U-divergent then. Well, I'm having a hard time keeping up with chat. Sorry. I'm not a man, so that's a big difference. That'll do it. Canon is a choice. Absolutely. Hang on. New question. Who all here has looked at canon and gone nope and completely rewritten it and changed their whole backstory to make it work for them because you didn't want to be aligned with canon anymore? Wow, lots and lots and lots. Khadgar, no, move. Hi, Khadgar here. I'm proud of all of you. Move. Stealing the microphone. What do you mean this is payback for what I did to you during your panel? Did I do something to you during your panel last time you presented at OtherCon? I don't recall. I can't read suddenly. I don't know. Taking the self-made mythology for me and my friends. Perfect. I'm the opposite where I'm haunted by canon. I'm sorry about your haunting. What happened in the game is what happened to me, but then I decided I was going to write a whole new life for myself where better stuff happens. Now both of those lives exist. The end. Perfect. Do it. Working on a canon rewrite as well. Who is that man? Not me, surely. Thank you, Khadgar. No, don't encourage him. Ooh, who taught me how to interrupt, Medivh? I have no idea. You came like that. Uh-huh. I'm sure you taught me none of that. No. No, I wouldn't do that. It all started with, I wouldn't say that. So true. All right, what other questions we got? Because I've got more, but I'm sure you have some. Ooh. Okay, there are some good questions here. First, I'm going to go with who was most famous / well-known in Source. Opposite of who was just some guy. Who was really important. We have Gordon Freeman, which is a good start. Do I count you? Of course you count Darkstalker. Multiple gods, yep. Sidekick and a main villain. Oh, goodness. Planet Pandora, that's pretty good. You're the protagonist, that'll help. And by the entire race across the galaxies. Courier 6. Deadpool. We've got some well-known and or main characters. Spyro. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense for a lot of people to be main characters. They're the most prominent. Sans. Everyone knows me and wants me to die, but I'm just a little guy. You're just a little guy. Free the little guy. The Eighth Doctor, Minecraft Steve, and Herobrine. Savannah says, I live rent-free in their minds. You certainly do. I'm Darth Vader. Well, that'll do it. That's pretty significant clear sight. We also got an interesting question that I'm not sure how people are going to answer, but I really want to hear what people have to say from Astra. Worst plan in your source. Worst plan in your source. Me. Great. Rathian, I'm so sorry. Anyone who knows Warcraft knows Rathian's a contender. Sylvanas also uniquely qualified. Warcraft is it's going to be hard to beat Warcraft. It's just full of terrible plans. The only military strategy anyone knows is pretend to attack A while actually attacking B, and people always fall for it. One time Khadgar tried to help me, and he had to kill me. It didn't go well. I got better. Worst plan, entrust the powers and responsibilities of a world-renowned sorcerer in the hands of a 5th grader. You know, it's funny you say that because I know you're not talking about me, but the worst plan in Warcraft might have been entrust the powers and responsibilities of a world-renowned sorcerer into the hands of an infant. And everything went completely to hell, and Warcraft happened because that happened. They just go, "Oh, Dark Lady, we have this plan." I go, "Interesting," and they go, "Oh, we must mean go do it," and that is not what I said. Oof. I think you and Trimmy are gonna have some interesting conversations about go do this, and then it goes too far. Turning my ex into a vampire to punish him, I regretted it immediately and accidentally gave him powers to fight me with. Oof. Let's traumatize this murder bot. This will not have any consequences ever. No, Jude, nothing bad happened as a result of that. Aren't even going to mention Theramore remembers the Wrathgate. Mm-hmm. How do I even pick from any of the terrible plans the Strikers have put into action? Caldwell, the Strikers' plans have nothing compared to Aurelius's plans. I'll just, like, Diablerize a bunch of people. Hope maybe no one will notice. Oh my god, people have noticed? Arson. All right, let's see. Moving on from plans, new question suggestion. Source least similar to this world. Who's from somewhere that just, like, not at all like Earth? I think Sargeras may win with Warcraft because it was a Dreadlord that convinced it to go mad and destroy the cosmos. Was it a Dreadlord, or did he just do that? It's really hard to keep track of him because he's a mess. I'm from a universe without time where it's an endless cycle. Well, you might have already won. I mean, did you even think about that? An alien demon whose source is a poetry book. League of Legends. Faerun, I'm just a glitch. The question was, who's from a place least like this world? Giant mushroom forests and floating islands. That's pretty good. Locust. So the thing with the badges is they are made for fun. If you feel like they fit you, go ahead and use them. They are prompted by these questions where if you quote unquote win a category or feel like you fit a category such as most problematic or worst plan, you can use them. They're for fun. Do with them what you will. They're audience created. Just have a good time. Unfortunately, Detroit is still Detroit. Canada is not real. World least like this world or source least like this world? Whichever. You're all just from Las Vegas. Well, something went wrong in Vegas. Detroit become normal. Deadpool, I love your question. I will bring it up next. The World of Darkness remains ultimately not that different. Night Vale's pretty close and yet pretty out there all at once. Night Vale's kind of like if there was the completely normal world and then you just had one zip code where everything weird happened. Realm that is similar to, but not the same as Pandora from Avatar. That's interesting. You get Night Vale 100%. Fantastic. I've listened to a little bit of it. The Southwest is just like that already. Radioactive? Hostile Roman cosplayers? It's terrifying. How do you survive? Well, they are. All right, we're running low on time, so I'm going to hop to the next question from Deadpool. What's something you miss the most from Source, an object or trait you had? And I really wanted to answer it because I actually have an answer to this while people think about that. Um, the object I miss most is Atiesh, my staff. My staff. I mean, I guess it's difficult because that's the thing I miss the most. But the place I miss the most is Karazhan, which is my haunted tower slash sister. Don't worry about it. I want to go home. I want to go back to Karazhan. I want my staff. Es ora Matiesh. I would love to talk about the sister thing. Drop me a PM after this or something. We just don't have time for me to go into it right now while also moderating the discussion. I need to write an essay about it. Everyone misses their magic. Haunted tower handshake, except mine is worse. People miss shapeshifting, your robes, creation powers, people. Yeah, we definitely miss people. Also magic. Your medical degree. No, your medical degree. Fuck, your medical degree. The culture of all the different worlds. Ooh. The TARDIS. Oh. I also miss the TARDIS, and I've never had it. Cultures. My job, I was actually paid a livable wage. Having a point to your existence. You have a point. If you don't know what it is, you're just gonna have to make one. Stable economy. Effectively not being disabled. Oh, don't we all miss that? I miss cars that are not loud. Language. I definitely miss language. It's like, oh, does common where you're from sound like English? No. Do you remember anything about it? No. I remember one sentence in a language, Es Oram Atiesh. I do not know what it means. I know it's about Atiesh. I think it's in Thalassian. I don't know. Miss the level of autonomy I get to have when I have the power to blow shit up. Don't we all? I miss being blown up. Alright, let's see. We only have a few minutes left. I know, time flies. It feels like I've been here for 20 minutes. And yet, it's been an hour. Alright, do we want to end this on, like, a fun, like, dunking? Whose source has the worst creator? Notch. Oof. Come on, Harry Potter people, come on. White Wolf, yep, JKR. Give me that award right now. Wizards of the Coast. Blizzard. The SMP cast. Oof. It's gonna be hard to beat the Harry Potter fiction folk. You're right, Xylanth. It's like, oh, beating JKR. Ooh, HP Lovecraft. Varian doesn't win, but he wants to step forward and say that his voice actor and creator is Chris Metzen. And unfortunately, he does just sound like that. It's not even like, oh, I don't sound like that. He's like, I do, and he stole my voice. Your voice actor ran ads for Trump. Okay, that's funnier. I wish people didn't act like having a problematic source creator makes you a bad person, same way that having a bad parent doesn't make you a bad person. Yes, absolutely. We are dunking on source creators for fun. This does not reflect on any of the fiction folk therein. Sorry to all of the Harry Potter fiction folk. You didn't do that, though. Saddle up bitches were killing God. Perfect. I don't think we follow fiction-related news enough to know who's problematic and who's not. Good, honestly. Don't. Don't stop doing that. Keep it up. You're gonna be much happier like this. I can't go out. My creator is grounded. James Cameron ain't great, but he's not that bad. Oof. It's not good when James Cameron, like, hits, like, the mid-tier. Alright, last minute or so. I wanna know what everyone's favorite thing about being fiction folk is. What do you love about it? Being me, being cool and awesome. All of you guys. Save my life straight up. Ugh. Great, great answers. All right, everyone, we are out of time. Thank you all so, so much for coming. You've been great. You've all been so, so wonderful. This has been a great Fiction Folk Roundup. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for participating. And remember, if you're a source mate, join my server. And if you're not, I love you anyway.